Hello, hello. Here we go, underway with match number 1. We got, well, there was supposed to be 18 teams. It looks like we just have 17 in here, which means one of the teams hasn't shown up yet. I don't know exactly why. But joining us this week, on top of the 4 teams that did make it up into Division 1, we are also going to have Team Liquid and Bestia both making their way in. On top of that, there was another team that checked out. Can't remember which one. For the life of me. Could have kept track of that. But Friendly Fire is also joining us, previously known as El Kadzia, earlier in this one, so it looks like Bestia is running Vinny, Japa, Pippa, and Benya. Benya was playing on a different team last week, so kinda all over the place. Mira gonna be the team going up against Bestia over here in this hut drop. Mira still has the same team. That is consistent, but Benya was on a different team last week. I don't know if it's because the rest of Bestia wasn't around, or what. But that is apparently how we have ended up. Japa gets the opening knock onto Tony with the Dragnov. One tap to the head. Fana, he's only got 30 bullets for that AK, so he's got to be a little bit careful of that. Gets a decent shot onto one. Seems like they are aware of the fact that there's someone up on the hill behind him. Vinny. Like, spotted out by Haven. Would have been able to get a free knock onto one of the players if he didn't get spotted. Looks like both Haven and Fauna are looking to push over towards Japa and Pippa. A lot of damage done. Doesn't look like any heals for the side of Bestia inside that building, and NLFP1 gets the knock onto Japa. Is Pippa gonna go for the insta-res? You would think he would. No util really on either side right now. There we go. Fauna is pushing forward. Pippa is there. Now getting shot in the back from the hillside by Vinny is Fauna. He's just trying to play in a position where he can deal some damage, but I feel like Mira doesn't really have any heals either, and Japa does get re-knocked by LFP1, so that's a second knock onto him. Team Liquid, well, we'll have to see who they have in a second, as Pippa gets a knock and a flush onto Fauna. And you hear the shotgun blaze out. Pippa now going to be upstairs with the Uzi. Benya pushes further forward, trying to find the angle, get some shots over onto Tony. Shots go out, and Pippa takes down Tony. So Bestia, first game back, and it looks like they may be winning this hut drop, but Japa has gone down completely, and Vinny hits the headshot to take down LFP1. I am kind of curious, so it looks like we have Alo, Purdy, Cowboy, and Luke right now for Team Liquid. That's the current setup we have for Team Liquid. Is this what they're gonna, like, stick with, or are we gonna see some changing around? Sure, that makes me wonder who's on El Kadzia then. If Friendly Fire. If Cowboy isn't on Friendly Fire, Yeah, that's what I'm assuming, is that we're seeing some tryouts, but Friendly Fire all the way up to the north. I want to see who's on that team, as we have a fight between Aura and Toyo. Solds gets an opening knock on to Zello Margiela. Only one other player here for Aura right now, the rest of them a little bit farther off. It looks like Andrew just going to be holding on the very edge of the building. If they push out over towards him at all, his teammates are going to have some very long-range shots. It's probably not going to be any, like, super strong shots. And he can only be here for so long before other teams might get an angle onto him. But Solds does get the flush onto Zello. There we go. Oh, Andrew has gone down to Martin. The flush trying to come out. There we go. It does come out. Danny gets a knock onto Martin in return, though. And this is the, I believe, same exact team we saw from Toyo last time. And they dominated. Obviously, there is a couple more heavy-hitting teams in this one, with Team Liquid, Friendly Fire, and Bestia coming back, but they still had a very promising first week of the year, so we'll have to see if they're gonna keep it up. Zlatansk. I don't remember seeing that name on AKA last week, so swapping out one of their players. It looked like the rest were all still the same. Luke 12 doing a little bit of scouting from the hilltop. I really do want to see who is sitting on Friendly Fire, but they're all the way up to the north, so I don't think we're going to see them for a little while. As No Way is going by Duel right now. Adam already got a knock and a flush onto one Svinny. Oh, surely gonna get shot in the back here in a second by Penta. Yes, he does! And Penta does hit the shots he needs to take him down. So Duel is Penta, Doffy, Adam, and Nowick. I want to take another look at No Way. So you have Svinny and DNL, so those two players staying the same. Vixen and Trion are two new players, unless Vixen was that Spock last week. No, that's got to be a different player. So Trion and Spookson. Yeah, it is. So I'm, like, trying to pay as much attention. It looks like... Oh, I just saw Friendly Fire for a second. It looked like they had K-Mind on the team. That was interesting. Oh, I'm gonna need to see this team name before I try and pronounce it. It's like Foradores or something, I'm pretty sure, but that could be very, very wrong. It does look like Team Liquid are going to be able to get a compound for free, Cowboy. Cowboy's dropped off here while Luke 12 did a little bit of running around. It is the weird part. I wish people, if they were going to do scrims, would just have their normal names. It would make everything a little bit easier. Never mind, with Tulin, Skatastico, Craze, and Infinite Void. This team looks like it stayed the exact same from week 1 into week 2. For Monkeys Men, we have Lapeeks, Guckstarl, and Whitezin that all stayed the same, but Fast should be a new player for this week. We see just a little bit of moving around. That would be kind of interesting, yeah. What, so K-Mind is playing with Friendly Fire right now, but if he doesn't stick with friendly fire? Do we think he goes to duel? Back to duel? There's so many different ways he could go. Team Liquid trying to go across. They did get bridge camped, but they have not taken any damage. Tavon slow with the reload, but Glock does get the opening knock onto Purdy after he goes down to Luke 12. And it's a 1-for-1 trade so far. Both players knocked in a pretty bad spot. Alo is going to go back down the hillside. Gabru already pushing up. I think he's going to be able to catch Luke 12 unaware currently, but no, Luke 12 is going to spot him out. Good shot from Gabru. Get some opening damage. Cowboy from the side, though, does a ton. That Molotov, perfect from Luke 12. The flush did come out onto Purdy, so they did at least lose one, but 55 have 2 knocked right now. So it's into a 3v2, and Crack is on the other side of the street. I think he's going to have to hop in the vehicle and make his way across. He only has 40 spare bullets. I know he has a bolty in hand, but the fact that it's going to be a bolty alongside an ace with only 40 spare bullets for the both of them, not a good sign. Tavon, a little bit of damage onto Cowboy as Luke 12 tries to spray through the smoke. The flush does come out onto Gabru. As it kind of just stalled out at this point. Aura, Danny, Andrew, Zello Margiela, and Excalibur. Andrew for real. Is that? No, I think that's the same Andrew we saw. So, Aura looks to be the same team as they were last time. They had some good matches, but really more of a day 1 rather than a day 2 situation for them. DL Calmo does get a few shots out. Let's see. Now, friendly fire. They're making their way across. So you got Roth. I saw K-Mind earlier. Let's see. Aura, the best they did was on Rondo and Tago. They killed a lot of people on Tago. They killed a lot of people and had the most placement points on Rondo last week. So their Erangel and their Miramar kind of fell behind the top teams, but it was day 1 on the extra maps. So we got Roth, K-Mind, Michael, and Nayla. Interesting. That's quite the team difference for Roth there. Interesting to see Michael end up on the same team. Honestly, a pretty strong team overall as Alo gets knocked by Caspitan. Cowboy got to be a little bit careful before he tries to hop in there. Hops in the backseat, hops back out. Doing everything he can to try and survive for a second. Oh, he didn't get the heal off in time. So he's going to try and smoke inside before he goes in, it looks like. So Team Liquid, it's looking rough for them in their first game. They were able to pick up a couple of kills early, but ever since, it's been a little bit more of a struggle. We see some kills going on in the kill feed. But yeah, overall last week, obviously Toyo dominated on every single map, and so did Furia. I don't think there's a single map that either teams didn't dominate on. The interesting thing, though, is technically Erangel was Furia's worst map. Wait, is Furia the team not in this week? I don't think I saw Furia. Unless I'm going crazy. One sec. Let me check on this. No, Furia is in here. Did they just not join for game 1? I'm a little confused. I don't remember seeing them in here. $55 on the other hand. They did well on Erangel. They did well on Miramar. They did well on Rondo. They did really well on Rondo. But Tego, they struggled on. No, the lobby was not as stacked as it was this week. Because one, we had 16 teams, and there was 3 less pro teams in the lobby. And a lot of the tier 1 teams had checked out. So we do have quite the difference between last week's and this week's lobby. 2 extra teams with 3 teams being pro teams. That's a crazy setup. Overall, Toyo did dominate, and it was mostly because of Solds and Capitan doing just insane amount of damage, kills, both day 1 and day 2, with Biel just able to help his team out in any way that he could. He got plenty of assists. There is plenty of changes, Moose. Friendly Fire has Roth, and then it's Naylup, Michael, and K-Mind right now. Penta is still on duel with Adam, but then you have Nowick and Doffy. So far I think I've seen 3 teams that have stayed the same, but that's about it. Snakers may just be more of like a sub or something potentially for that, as Bestia, they already have a 10-kill game going as they finish off 55 and Tavon right there. But 4 Monkeys men are ready to keep them pushed back. Benya spotted out by Lapeaks. And that's one of the changes is Benya is onto Bestia for this week, as Fast gets an opening knock onto Vinny, gets the flush as well. Duel took out Zero Harros. And the kill feed there, Adam been doing some good work with that UMP. Whiteson trying to go for the long-range spray, but Joppa does more damage, and Joppa takes down Lapeaks. It's over to the left, Whiteson getting a few shots. Bestia, it looks like, as they're pushing up, opting more for FPP POV, rather than going from TPP into FPP. Benya is trying to sneak around the backside. He has to make it into zone, though, before he starts to shoot, because of how much damage he's going to be taking from that zone. Joppa is all the way up here, but he doesn't have any offensive util that he can use. We do see the nade goes out. It goes a little bit left. Is it able to get the re-knock? Yes, it gets the re-knock, and Benya gets the knock onto Fast right afterwards, so all of a sudden it's all onto Whiteson for 4 Monkeys men. Stun goes out. It does connect onto Whiteson. The second one absolutely annihilates him. Benya should be able to just walk forward and shoot him. He's just kind of sitting there. I don't know what that was, but Pippa picks up his 5th kill of the game. So some interesting stats real quick from last week is, for the most part, you had mostly consistent teams all the way through. On Miramar, though, Seventella's had a very good game as, oh, Scatastico picks up 2. Now looking for the final member of Duel, it's Adam. He's way farther back than the rest of the team. He's going to get wrapped by Friendly Fire. He just has to make his way forward, but no, Nailup gets the finish onto Duel. Michael gets a knock onto Fachita as Nailup gets taken down by Nubsky. That's the second knock onto Fachita from Friendly Fire. Roth never quits. Friendly Fire will remain forever. Yeah, he's got an interesting team lineup for this week as well. So I'm excited to see what happens. I'm kind of wondering where D went. And like Jack said, where did Sparking go? There's so many question marks. Also, Team Liquid, they looked like they were in such a bad position earlier as Biel finishes off Rezav with that nade. But they're still up on as a 3 now. Like, they still have 2 on the Wizzy, and Luke 12 didn't get knocked on the side of the hill, so... He did convince Michael to join again. Yeah, I know D isn't NA, but I'm just interested if he's going to continue to try and play NA, or if they're going to end up, if he's going to play for someone else's. I was talking about Luke 12 not having gone down yet, but he's getting shot at from so many different angles. He finally does go down. Alo staying in the Wizzy Tower for right now as Cowboy makes his way up the hillside more towards Luke 12. Flushes coming out from Toyo. Caspitan with that off angle. But Cowboy, he has to be careful how far he pushes because it's 4-0 down below that could punish him quite a bit if he goes too far forward. And of all the maps for 4-0 to be on, their best map so far has been Erangel. Oh, the Young Guns will absolutely find good teams as Moo takes down Pippa as he was pushing forward. Cowboy pushing himself out of position with his own nade. Perfect onto Moo. But his blue zone pushed him out from behind the tree. Yeah, Cowboy playing for Team Liquid right now. Cowboy trying to push forward. He did flush one. He's in first person. He's finding him, and he's just right up against him. 4-0 still up as a 2-man. Sweezy knocks one, takes down Alo, and Cowboy tries to step out, but 2 players laying down, staring at him. It's just a little bit too much for him to handle. As Bestia, 13 kills in their first week here. Pippa and Vinny have gone down. Pippa had 6 kills in this match. Joppa hasn't gotten any, but he's definitely gotten a couple of knocks. Benya steals that kill away from Solds. But last week on Erangel, the player with the most kills was actually Gabru, followed by Tony, then Fauna, and then you had Solds. So Solds was overall the person that got the most kills. He had 25 kills day 1, and then he had 14 kills day 2. 12 of those came on Erangel, but there was 3 other players that got more kills on Erangel than him. But we see Nevermind, Toyo, Friendly Fire, and Bestia. And my whole thing with Toyo is, I always thought that their biggest difficulty was consistency. It didn't matter who they had on the team. From one day to another, they would slowly end up, or 1 week to another, they'd have this crazy week, and then they'd fall off and be like towards the bottom of the leaderboard, playing like a Division 2 team. And then 2 weeks later, when we saw them again, all of a sudden they'd be dominating. And it was just like a consistency that we just didn't see from them. They weren't super good, but they weren't bad either. So the fact that they have a top 4 in game number 1 already, looking forward to it. I know Falcons isn't playing. We have Friendly Fire, Bestia, and Team Liquid that are all playing. So 3 of our North American pro teams. K-Mind has been knocked. More nades should be able to come out as Nailup gets a knock onto Skatastico. Follow-up nade by Craze does take down Michael. As, the blue zone was tried to go forward, but it bounces right off the tree. Watulins should be able to get the flush onto Benya here. Yeah, there we go. He goes down. Infinite Void picks up a kill. This is now Friendly Fire. Roth got a knock onto Martin. Bring this down into a 3v3v3. Friendly Fire barely in on the edge's zone right now. Oh, Caspitan, he's just got that Panzer in his back pocket right now. 7 kills right now for Toyo. You know, I have a whole spreadsheet going because I wanted to track some stats and everything to have stuff to talk about. But there was like 2 or 3 things that I wanted to do that I already forgot about or forgot to grab. Like I wanted whoever had 10 kill games, I wanted to see how many teams had gotten 10 kill games. As Watulins tries to go with the 4x spray onto Toyo. Looks like Toyo opting to push towards Nevermind. Hopefully that one doesn't bounce off the tree. It does go through, lands a little bit short. Return nade from Watulins. Oh, it lands. It only does 49 damage, though, because BL was laying down. Roth on the other side gets an opening knock onto Craze, but it's Watulins with the return fire. A sliver is all he saw, and he was able to take him down off of that headshot onto BL from Infinite. Nothing else to follow up, though, as Nailup gets the knock onto Watulins. Nevermind. Down to just a single player as Caspitan gets the knock onto Nailup. And it's looking to be Toyo's game right now. It is Watulins with a big S. That nade goes forward. Oh, it was a stun, I guess. Turn, stun from Infinite Void. Oh, it's a Molotov from Michael, though. Gets the knock onto one. BL takes down Infinite on the other side, and Toyo mops up the last player, and they win the first match. 11 kills. Bestia in their first one in this had 14 kills. I don't know how many Friendly Fire got. We'll see in just a second when they click on next. Friendly Fire had 10 kills of their own. Team Liquid, they only had 5. But they were in the top 6. So all 3 pro teams that joined us from NA this week after not being here last week, got into the placement points. We're going to go to a quick break as we get ready for match number 2. Here we go into match number 2. Toyo winning that first match, showing that they are ready to continue to dominate. We did just have one team not show up, it looks like. That team being... Oh, things aren't updating properly for me. It'll show in a second. Maybe, hopefully. And is it 7-Tellas that didn't show up? Yeah, it's 7-Tellas that are not here. Which is really saddening because they really did have... No, 7-Tellas are right here. What am I talking about? Which team didn't show up? So confused. We only have 17 teams in here. That means there's one team missing. I wasn't paying enough attention during the break. I was doing other things. Furia? Is it Furia that didn't show up? Oh, we saw Furia, didn't we? Oh, jeez. Now I'm questioning everything. Batunga's, he does blow up the gas can. It does not spread enough to deal damage to Pablo. Must be going crazy. Volgo got an opening knock with a nade. Lewis gets the knock on to Lucas. Lewis onto Lucas. Now Lewis trying to get the flush. He does get the flush on to Lewis, but Volgo gets the trade. So that's 2 knocked. Now it's 7-Tellas. What can they do up against Lincoln and Pero? Lincoln last week was on old players who got relegated down into Division 2, but now he's on Cerro Harros, back up in Division 1. That is a beautiful nade onto Pablo as Pero takes him down. Volgo does get the flush onto Batungas as Pero flushes out Pablo. So we're back down into a 2v2. Volgo and Amaya up against Pero and Lincoln. Pero chucking down his smoke to give him a little bit of protection from Volgo. It's going to be a 1v1 between him and Maya over here right now. Pushing forward with the PP Bison. Maya just trying to hold. Very blind from that stun, and Pero gets the knock. It's all onto Volgo. Oh, tries to go for the headshots. Only 23 bullets left. Volgo just gonna chuck down a smoke to be able to try and get away. Oh, takes a headshot right in the back of the head. You can see right where the bullet hit. Lincoln spotted now as Danchin actually steals the kill onto Lewis, so Volgo, after all his work, isn't even gonna get his kill. Just sitting here waiting. Yeah, now that we're looking at 7-Tellas again. They had an okay week last week. It was really on Miramar that they performed their best. They got plenty of kills, really. They didn't get a ton of placement points as Zlatansk gets the kill for AKA, so that's a second one from them. aka a team that really didn't do a ton. They got some decent chunk of points on Tago, and they got some good kills on Miramar. But other than that, they really didn't do a whole ton. Our best teams from last week were Toyo, Furia, 55, and Mira. They dominated. Mira really didn't dominate. They got plenty of points on both maps, on both days. But they didn't really get necessarily a ton of placement points. They got plenty of kills, but that's where all their points came from for the most part, not placement points. Like day 2, they got way more placement points than day 1. Razav is pushing on to 4-0. Beleda prepping the nade, throwing it where they were. They're not there any longer, so they were able to kind of escape that area for right now. But yeah, I can't imagine Furia getting 0 points in the first match. So I think they're the team that's missing. Honestly, I'm getting way too distracted on trying to figure out if Furia was the team that's missing or not. And I feel like I'm not focusing at all. Right. Lock in, pay attention to the game. Tavon in 55. You know, that's something else I didn't do with my spreadsheet. I should have kind of like marked which team the player was on to be able to tell like exactly what's happening. But Tavon was much more of a day 2 kind of player rather than a day 1. Getting plenty of damage and assists as Bully gets a knock onto La Peaks, gets the flush as well. And Foradores getting out of there. And he played well on Erangel and Rondo especially. He didn't necessarily have a ton of kills, but he did a lot of damage, and he got a lot of assists. The most assists that there was on Rondo last week. And then you have a Karak, who also didn't really get a ton of kills, but got plenty of assists. He got 9 assists on day 2, 5 of which came on Rondo, so 55. Getting a lot of assists on Rondo. Karak absolutely destroying Beleda with the M24 right there. Let's look at Glock. Now, Glock, he was at the top on assist, damage, and kills in a few different spots. Specifically, Rondo, the map that 55 clearly excelled at. Glock had 9 kills. He had 8 assists on Erangel, and a good chunk of damage on both Rondo and Erangel. Now, looking at the last player on 55, we have Gabru, who had 16 kills in day number 2. He had not all, but he had 16 kills on Erangel alone. He was the player with the most kills on Erangel last week, and he had 6 kills on Rondo. So Gabru, a big part of why 55 got as many points as they did, as AKA finish off Cyril Harros So AKA actually winning the cut drop at Yakka, being the third team that showed up afterwards compared to the other players. Interesting. Ooh, Cowboy in the glider. Team Liquid making it to the bridge right around the same time as 55 PD. And it looks like 55 just kind of wants to take this fight. But they are backing off a little bit. I don't know if it's because they see Cowboy on the glider or what their exact plan is. Is Cowboy trying to fill up on fuel? I think he might have been trying to fill up. If he could have gotten the glider close enough to actually fill it up on the gas station, his craze just takes fully right out of the vehicle. Boyd gets the flush. It's 4-0. Pulling into the dip here. Don't really have as much to play as some of the other teams. Never mind. A team that didn't do anything crazy, but Ontago and Miramar, they did get some good placement points. They had 6 placement points on the 2 Tagos and 10 placement points on the 4 Miramars, which put them in 5th place for both Tago and Miramar for placement points. Beyond that, they didn't really dominate at all anywhere. They just kind of got their placement points, they got their kills and stuff, and they made it work. They were able to stay in Division 1 because of it. Team Liquid going over towards Toyo. I will say though, for Toyo, I don't think Martin had a specifically strong showing. He had the only stat that he actually was in the top 5 for was Ego, and that was for 4 assists that he got. The rest, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean he played bad either. It just means that he didn't play as good as everyone else. I mean, you look at Solds, and he's on here in 15 different spots because of how crazily well he did. As the Team Liquid just annihilates No Way. Just like that. And now Aura gonna be fighting up against Duel. And it's Doffy to get the knock on to Danny. He already had a knock on to another one. And Adam just trying to look towards Zello Margiela. Does spot him get back in the UAZ, tries to get any shots as he's driving away, but he's not able to connect on anything. But Noik is actually looking a little aggressive. And this isn't an awful play for him. They're taking a little bit more space. They're on the edge of zone, so any space they can get is very important. Danshin just kind of stuck here on the edge. Team Liquid in a spot where they would have been able to hold them out. Luke 12 was the only one over here, though, so he's got to regroup with the rest of the team, not get caught out. Cowboy gonna chuck down a smoke and might get picked up right now by Luke 12 instead of taking the buggy any farther as Alo gets shot in the side by Solds. But yeah, Solds had the most amount of kills day 1. He had the 5th most amount of kills day 2. He had the 4th most amount of kills on Erangel, the most amount of kills on Rondo, and he was up there for most amount of kills on Tago and Miramar as well. He was in the top 5 for damage on every single map. He had the most damage on both day 1 and day 2. He was just an absolute beast last week. Then you look at Caspitan, and he was the one with the most kills on day 2, when Solds kind of backed off a little bit, and he had the second most damage on both day 1 and day 2. He had the 4th most amount of kills on Erangel, the 2nd most on Tago, and the 3rd most on Miramar, on top of having a ton of assists on both Tago and Miramar. So not quite as crazy of a week as Solds had, but Caspitan was right up there as well. Obviously, we talked about how Martin was a little bit farther back on that. Guckstarl gets a knock on to Michael from Friendly Fire, and looks like Nanu can also be right in this fight. You have so many teams in Yasnaya right now. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different teams already in Yasnaya. One of the members for AK separated from his team, and that's going to put him in a tough spot. Toyo going to be fighting up against Mira. That nade somehow not doing any damage onto anyone. It's going to be Mira versus Toyo. Toyo just pushing forward onto this. Should get the knock onto Fauna with that Molotov. Indeed it does. Biel gets the opening second knock onto him, as LFP1 is able to hit the shots. Get the knock onto Biel. Gets the flush as well. Tony was trying to go for the res. He does get it onto Fauna. His Solds flushes out Haven. Now Caspitan pushing forward. He does find one. Gets traded out immediately by Martin. Martin able to get the flush onto Fauna and Tony. Now Toyo only have 1 left to deal with, and it's the M249 for Martin to take down LFP1 and Toyo. They do lose 1 player, but they're able to take down 4, and I always say a 4-for-1 trade is never a bad trade. Team Liquid, oh, they are going to be held out right on the edge. Pachita any second now, as soon as he gets ready to throw that nade into this stack that is Team Liquid. He gets the knock onto Luke 12. Nubsky should have a follow-up nade. Is it going to be enough to get onto Alo, or are they not even going to throw it? I don't see anything else go through. So Team Liquid just trying to survive right now. Looks like Luke 12 might be the only one that goes down to util right now. They're going to have to hit as many first aids as they can, slowly creeping forward. If they can't get a return nade onto one of the players, that one bouncing up the rock goes forward a little bit, barely does any damage. Luke 12. I think he got res so he would go down to blue zone instead of giving the point over to Razab. So now the stun goes forward towards Cowboy and Alo. Cowboy with a return stun. Does get it onto Fachita. That one fully blinds Fachita as Beleda goes down to Caspitan from behind. Now it's all onto Nubsky. He does get the knock onto Alo. Tries to go for the shots, but Purdy takes him down. Now Caspitan gets the knock onto Purdy, so Team Liquid just getting held out by one team after another. Cowboy trying to move forward. Through the smoke, he goes down as Solds finds that one. And Team Liquid down in 13th place. Not the best game number 2 from them, but they got put in a real tough spot. Razav holding them out, and then Toyo right in front of them. But now Toyo are going to have to try and make their way in somewhere. 55 PD going to be on the edge of zone closest to them, and pretty much everything inside his zone is taken care of. Pana is just hiding behind a satellite right now. That is hilarious. Those satellites are perfectly big enough for one human body. If there was a second person there, it wouldn't be the same. If he had a teammate there, that teammate would have already been dead. Now he has to make his way in through the blue zone. He has one of the blue zone suits, though. And he has a FAMAS as Toyo making their way over here. He got shot by someone else's solds, crested the hillside. Oh, no. They hit the fence, and it was not good. Penta gets an opening knock with one nade. They're following it up with more. The second one goes deep enough. Should get Frog in. It does. Gets the flush onto Murillo. And now it's all onto Slabby a little bit farther back. Penta spots him out, and that's a 3-piece for him. Oh, never mind. A little bit farther down the pathway. Trying to look over towards the 2 remaining members of Duel. Okay, it is Furia that isn't here. I don't know why they aren't. Last week, I want to say they had... Okay, last week they had both Benya and Martin on the team, but this week Benya and Martin are playing for different teams, so Furia fell apart, question mark? Draft King was also on Furia last week, so now Martin is playing with Toyo this week. Okay, so Martin was playing with Furia. Who's the person on Furia last week then? Or on Toyo? The 4th was Emmy. So Emmy isn't playing with Toyo this week, and Martin is playing instead. And Emmy, I mean, overall, was technically the player that performed the worst. So we'll see if Martin is going to be able to do better on Toyo than Emmy was this week, or if maybe they want to bring Emmy back. Guckstarl does get the knock on to Caspitan for the 4 Monkeys men. Caspitan should go down shortly. Yeah, Guckstarl does go down. Nades coming forward again, and what do you know? It's Duel with the nades again, and Penta just absolutely decimating players with nades right now as he picks up 2 more, and I'm pretty sure all but one of his kills have all come with util usage. He is dominating right now with the grenades. Roth gets a mortar kill. He finishes off Duel with mortars. I am so disappointed that we did not get to see the mortars go off. So very sad about that. That is Roth picking up 2 kills with the mortar. We'll see with this zone shift. Four Monkeys men are going to be in the best spot. There is so many opportunities for players to play inside of the apartments right now, but instead everyone's kind of on the outside of them. Friendly Fire, they're going to have a decent spot to hold out a couple of teams. It looks like 55, PD, and Bestia, both going to have to push kind of towards them, but both teams looking to fight each other right now instead. And the flush should come out onto this member of 55. Gabaru should be going down. There we go. Benya does get the flush with the shootable blue zone. As Karak gets a knock onto Nail Up, so 55, if they want to push up towards Friendly Fire, maybe that's the opening. He finds a second! Karak with the M24 is absolutely dominating. Michael ends up flushing himself with the Molotov. The Renok comes out onto Nail Up. Karak, what else can you do? Gotta be careful of the Molotov in the smoke. Karak taking a lot of damage from it. Tavazong does push forward as Joppa gets the knock on to Karak. He's not going to get to do any more right now. K-Mine trying to go for the flush, but Glock is able to get the knock on to K-Mine. Friendly Fire in a spot where they should have been able to hold pretty well. Just got annihilated by the bolty shots from Karak, and then 55 taking the opportunity collapsed onto this. The beneficiaries may end up being Bestia though, but 4-0 would be able to hold off the push. That nade going forward almost gets a little bit more onto 55. Tavon right up against the wall, ready and waiting. Tavon, is he going to be able to find any more? Smokes do go out. Roth goes forward. He takes down one. He didn't know Glock was inside, though. Glock going to be able to get the flush as Benya steps around, finishes off Glock, and now you have Nail Up as the last one left on Friendly Fire. What a little sprint forward there by Roth to find one, though. That's a blue zone bomb on the side of Bestia. Is that actually going to work out in their favor, though? Because they're going to have to back off so far. Is the other side of the building actually going to be good enough? Nail Up going to be dealing with this blue zone bomb. Oh, it's going to come forward. It's going to be right on him. It does so much damage. He tries to get to the edge of it, and he is outside of it. And in a spot where Bestia can't really do anything about him. The real problem is, can he get back inside? He does end up vaulting back in. More blue zones come out. This is really what Erangel has become, is just the blue zone central. As another blue zone comes out, that's starting to do a little bit of damage. He's trying to push forward. He does see one player in here, but that player has already backed off. Tries to go for the shots, isn't able to get the knock, backs off. Does actually get to a spot where he can call safety right now, but he still steps out and he gets the knock onto Benya before Guckstarl takes him down from behind. Benya, is he going to be able to get rezzed as Moo tries to get the knock on to Vinny? Does a lot of damage, but doesn't find it yet. Now he's just pushing forward. Right there is Joppa, and Moo goes down. STX taking down Pippa, but Dwamson takes down Sweezy from behind as Vinny takes down STX. 4-0 eliminated. 4 teams left. 4 Monkeys men, Bestia, aka, and Nevermind. 4 Monkeys men just absolutely loving the zones that they have been given. They were able to get another player over into these couple of 2-story buildings. The other 2 are still in the apartments, and the zone's gonna end right between the two-mans. So they're gonna have control of so much of it. Guckstar gets shot in the back, though, by Craze. And that is pretty much the one thing that 4 Monkeys men didn't want to happen. They just needed to stay alive. They had so much zone control, they didn't need to go for anything crazy. And now Bestia gonna be able to move forward AKA down below LePeaks right now. LePeaks, he's just trying to throw down a C4. He does get the C4 down in time, and he just jumps off the side of the building. He goes down to fall damage. The C4 isn't going to find anyone, AKA they're just backing off of the building. He does get flushed out by Dwamsin, but the C4 finds a little bit of damage. Not enough to get a knock onto anyone. A lot of damage onto the player still left on the roof. Oh, fast. Through the tiniest little cubby. Tried to get the shots onto Bestia. He did see Pippa now. Vinny up on the roof. Whiteson goes down for Monkey's Men. All they had to do was stay alive, and it all started falling apart when Nevermind got the kill onto him from behind. Pippa does get his flush. Now it's going to be a fight between Bestia and AKA. Fast gets knocked onto one. Still has 6 bullets left, and Fast goes down. Fast did get the flush onto Benya, though. The first aid going out. Fast. He wants to push out, trying to find the player, and now he does. Danshin goes down, so Fast still has the possibility to make this happen with the S12K. He's going to pop out. Not sure if anyone's still left on the rooftop. Does get the flush onto one. Couple of stuns go out before he makes his way over. When does he pop out of this? It's a 1v1v1. He's inside the smoke right now. He does drop down. Vinny can't see anything because of the smoke. He goes out into the blue zone, finds Dwamsin, and 4 Monkeys Men. They can still win this. He's trying to go through the fence. He's not able to, and Vinny able to take him down. Bestia win match number 2 with 9 kills. 4 Monkeys Men, they almost had it there at the end. AKA, they had 12 kills. And that is how we end match number 2. We're going to go to a quick break as we get ready for match number 3. What a crazy end to that one. Plenty of buildings, but did still end up ending in the open a little bit. A ton of fun right there at the end. We'll be right back. Alright, here we go. Match number 3. This is, there you go. My brain breaks so much sometimes. Right, on to Tago. Our best performers last week on Tago were Biel Calmo and Danny, both for kills. They both had 8. Emmy, who played on Toyo last week, and I haven't seen him this week. So it goes on to a Glock from 55 PD for the most assists. It was on to Caspitan from Toyo for the most assists on Tago last week. And then you have Caspitan also with the most damage last week, with Toyo winning both Tago matches last week. And Bestia has already eliminated Mira. And then we have another fight between Team Liquid and Cyril Harros, I believe is how you say the team name. So crazy start to this one already. We're back down to the 17 teams. So we're supposed to have 18 teams, but Furia, I don't know if it's like weather issues or what's going on with them, but weren't able to make it. And Lewis, he's going to go down as Cowboy is not going to miss those shots. He does take a headshot, though, as Batungas does get a knock onto Luke 12 in return. Cowboy does get the flush onto one. Batungas quickly goes down to Cowboy as well when he tried to get into the buggy for some reason. I don't know why Batungas thought that getting into the buggy was the right play there, but Purdy running up behind the other two members. He does have a Panzer. Alo also has a Panzer. Purdy just uses the AK that he has, though, to take down Lincoln. Now there's only one player left on this team, and get some good shots onto Purdy. The stun should go forward here in a second. Purdy gonna back off a little bit. Swapping over to the Panzer. And Team Liquid is, yes, just gonna really make their way over here. Pero tries to go for the shots onto one now from behind. Hits Luke once, but he only has 15 bullets left. Cowboy steps over and takes his head off to finish off this hot drop against Cyril Harros. So good little hot drop there from them. I will say, though, Tago probably was the map from last week that had the most interesting spread of teams that were at the top. Because, I mean, obviously we had Toyo, Mira, 55, and Furia dominating a lot of last week. But on Tago, all of a sudden you had Aura that was playing really well. You had AKA, they played well on this map. Nevermind did good. No Way had some good points on this map. Rezav had good points on this map. 7-Tellas. And you probably had the most different amount of teams playing really well, either getting kills or placement points. On Tago specifically, the most shake-up on like who was gonna play well from game to game. Besides the fact that, you know, Toyo just stepped away with it. They had 42 kills on Tago alone. They had both wins. They had 22... They had 22 kills. Sorry, not 42. They had 22 kills, and they had 20 placement points. for a total of 42 points on Tego. The second team on Tego had 19, and that was Mira. Mira was definitely much more of a day 2 team than they were a day 1 team, though. They only had 44 points in day 1. That still did put them in 5th place for the first day, but they had 77 in day 2. And a good little chunk came on Erangel and Tego. They did not do as well on Miramar and on Rondo, which is kind of funny. So it means they did best in the last 3 games on day number 2. As 55, they have 2 players over here, close to Aura. Looks like tires are gonna get popped by Zella Margiela. He does spot Tavon further out, so if they can realize that 55 has a 2-2 split right here, they can put a lot of pressure onto 55. Aura, this is the map that you did the second best on, and you did it in day number 1. So this is your opportunity. Danny had a ton of kills. He had 8 kills, tied with BL on Tego. Which, I mean, 8 kills doesn't sound like a ton, but that means he averaged 4 kills a game on Tego. 4 kills and a couple of placement points by yourself, and you already have a good chunk of points for that game. If you're trying to average like 5 or 6 points at least a game, then one player getting 4 kills a game on a specific map, that's insane. As 4-0 got eliminated by Nevermind, with Toolins picked up the final kill onto Moo. Razav rotating hand in hand with 7 Tellas right now. Fachita, the closest one, is it looks like 7 Tellas are gonna back up a little bit. We'll let them continue on. They're like, we don't need to be involved in that. You can have that all for yourself. $55 PD. This was actually their worst map last week. They did not do very well on it at all. They didn't get a ton of kills. They didn't get a ton of points. They didn't even get 15 points on Tego last week. As 7 Tellas still ended up right next to Razav, and Razav going to be trying to go across the bridge. Now, they're going to get reverse bridge camped at this point, as Beleda whiffs every single shot on a player that was pretty much in the open. Nubsky, the one furthest back still. And Beleda really should have had an opening knock, but neither of these teams getting an opening knock, and Razav looks like they're going to hop back in their vehicles and go down below. Toyo potentially setting up a bridge camp on the other side. No, they're... Oh, are they all hopping? I think they're all clown carring. Oh, this isn't good. Oh, they're going to clown car right into Solds. Solds willing to take some damage. Gets around, takes some shots, and Martin, he's the one that ends up picking up 2 on to the members of Razav. Does he find any more before they get out of there? Biel getting the flush onto one of the players. Solds make sure to pick up the other one. So Razav, they lose 2 players, as 7 Tellas had the bridge cap on one side, and then Toyo ready on the other. If Solds had gotten there a little bit quicker, I don't think Razav would have had anyone left. at the end of that little sprint. As it looks like Team Liquid have now run into the members of Bestia. Luke 12 backing off, maybe the last player left. Indeed, he is for Team Liquid. So Bestia should be able to, honestly, probably just camp the bodies and stay inside if they don't want to go anywhere else. No wick for Duel had of tire blown out. Now they're going to prep some nades, throw them forward. That first one, good. The second one, oh, if it had been cooked for just a second, would have been great, as those follow-ups were beautiful. And my goodness, Duel and U2. That's all I have to say. Razab does still end up going down to Toyo. I don't know exactly what happened, but it looks like Toyo still ended up managing to hunt them down. Duel have to be a little bit careful here. They might get shot in the back by Foradores. Slabby in a spot where it could happen. As it looks like Aura taking some long-range shots over towards friendly fire. I don't actually know, like, is friendly fire technically going to be counted as Alcadzia? Or do they have to... Because they only have Roth. Would they have had to retain at least 2 or 3 players from the previous squad, or like 2 players? Since they're not Alcadzia anymore, is Alcadzia just like gone? Oh, Nayla. Volgo misses the shots, and Nalup does not double headshots him. Volgo just absolutely whiffing. He had the info and just couldn't connect with the shots when he needed to. Maya right here in support. Pablo takes down K-Mind, and Nalup just pushing forward. He does take down Maya. Roth looting up real quick, and Michael trying to get the shots onto Lucas, hits the headshot with the final couple of bullets, and now it's all onto Pablo. A couple of flushes coming out. As Michael has to try and not get taken out by Pablo, crossing over to this rock. He is able to avoid it, throws the Molotov forward. That's going to prevent Lucas from getting rezzed. Shots come out from Nalup onto Pablo. Pablo does see Nalup the nade coming forward, does a decent chunk of damage. One more nade or anything would be enough to take down Pablo. This one from Nalup going forward, it is enough to take down Pablo. And friendly fire eliminates 7 Tellas on the map that they arguably played their best on. It was Miramar and Tego where 7 Tellas kind of succeeded, losing out on the potential points for this is definitely going to hurt a little bit. We'll have to see them come back on Miramar, see what they can do. 55 PD, it looks like they're just crashing right onto 4 Monkeys Men. 1 knock goes each way, and now Whiteson finds Karak, so it's 2 on the side of 55 PD. Now it's 2 on each side. Fast gets the knock onto Gabru now, and it's Glock in a 1v2. And he spots out Whiteson, so now it's down into a 1v1. Glock versus Fast. And if anyone is aware of this, they should be trying to get on this as quickly as possible. Try and third party this. There's so many potential kills to get here. Glock pulling out the nade. Going upstairs, trying to prevent the res from coming out. Does a little bit of damage onto both, but the res should come out onto Lapeaks. Oh, if that nade had landed a little bit closer to the gas can and blown that up. 55, they already got the res onto 1 player. They're going for more. Aura and Duel are fighting now as Excalibur took down Adam. Two of the players from Aura did get taken down. Zello Margiela already down. Fast, just trying to avoid all of this damage. LaPeaks going for the peaks onto Tavon. Barak did get finished off. But no way for him to come back. This is a 3v2 for 55. Like Aura gets taken down there. They still have Danny left alive. We see Fast and LaPeaks trying to hold off against 55. Good shots there from LaPeaks, but he's not able to get the knock. Now it's just slowed down. It's all going to depend on who can hit the best shots at this point. Fast, I don't know if he's been spotted by Glock or not. But I feel like he needs to get just a little bit closer to the wall. If Glock goes a little bit further and gets his angle just right, I feel like he'll be able to see Fast over here, but that stun goes over towards the peaks. Oh, K-Mind. Might have free shots onto Fast if he wants to take them. Oh, wait, K-Mind's coming back, I think, right now. Friendly Fire, honestly, if you can try and fight this, if there's a knock that comes out, immediately go over. And Fast is still just sitting at the edge of the wall, not moving, waiting for someone to just walk in without knowing he's there. Oh, and LaPeaks is starting to get shot at by Friendly Fire. Somehow, Fast wasn't spotted that entire time. I'm not sure how. It is BL Calmo to get the knock onto LaPeaks, actually. Good shots from Fast, but it's Michael from behind to finish him off. So Friendly Fire, they have a spot in zone. I don't know if K-Mind was able to get some loot or not. Trion, you gotta get into zone. Did you heal in time? He must have nailed the timing on that one. This is why he's playing in scrims and I'm not. And alright, Toyo. They were trying to crash onto this, completely unaware that 55 was over here. Solds goes down. Now Michael gets a knock onto Caspitan. The flush comes out from Glock, so that point's stolen away. Tavon on the other side is able to take down BL Calmo, so it's only one player left for Toyo. All on to Martin. The new addition for this week for Toyo. He has 2 kills so far in this match. They have 7 kills, so even if they go down here, it's still a 7-point game. They're at 29 points overall. Bestia at 37. He spots Gabru. Oh, he tries to close the door in time. Isn't able to, and Gabru, P90 drop shot, walking through the door, is able to take down Martin. And guess what? Friendly Fire wants to try their hand at this now as well. It's another 3v3 55. Just one after another. They were able to crash and take this compound with a little bit of help from these two teams. And now they've taken down Toyo. Friendly Fire decided that it's their opportunity to try and move in on this. Michael and Glock just staring at the walls, waiting for their opportunity to peek. The nade goes forward. Glock able to see it, avoid it. It didn't go through the window anyways. K-Mind looking for the angle, trying to find the players. Nade from Gabru should come in. It's going to go far, though. K-Mind able to avoid most of it. Takes a little bit of damage and just cannot get jump shot. He backs off. He only has a 1 helmet. As Roth is throwing forward a smoke, trying to deal with the other player, and it's Michael on the backside of the building to take down Tavon for the opening knock. K-Mine goes down to Gabru. Gabru gets a second before Roth gets the trade, and it's down into a 1v1. Roth versus Glock, and it's Roth getting shot in the back just like they did to a different team, and Benya takes down Roth. So now Glock is going to try and rush over to the other members of 55, get the reses onto them, and they just weathered a storm right there. My goodness, and we still have 8 teams left. Infinite Void hops in his vehicle to try and avoid the BRDM. He jumps out of the vehicle, and Frogman has already taken them down. Bestia up to 10 kills in this one, so Bestia continuing their good form after game number 2. Actually, has Bestia got 10 kills in every single game so far? Because that would be kind of crazy if they have. Nade going forward from Penta, and we have seen how deadly Duel has been with Util. That one gonna land a little bit short. Not scared, though. He moves forward again. The follow-up nade going a little bit further, and oh, if Dwamsen hadn't backed up and laid down, he would have been done for with that follow-up. Frogman takes down DNL, so second team that Foradores have taken down with the use of the BRDM. Frogman has 4 kills. Vinny over here, Murillo, it looks like, ready to chase him down. The nade being prepped, thrown forward. And Vinny does end up getting hit by the vehicle. Looked like it might have been a little bit out of the way, but Murillo takes him down. Pippa takes down Luke 12. There goes Team Liquid. And blown up BRDM is what we have. Murillo goes down to Benya. It's all onto Frogman for Foradores. 55 PD gonna be in a very wonderful spot, set up and ready. They looked at how last week went for them on this map, and they were like, we're not going to repeat that. We're going to play much better, and they're in the top 5 right now. Should easily get a top 4 out of this, because Foradore is going to be struggling here in a second. Good shots from Frogman, though. But he's just a bullet away from taking down Benya. Tries to get ready to go for the shots onto Jaffa. And it's Nowick to finish off Murillo with a nade. Stealing that one away from Bestia. Bestia, they have to get ready to move. They are not in the zone. We are 8 seconds away from it shifting on us. 55 and AKA have control of most of the zone right now. Duel. Duffy is not in right there. Penta stuck. Nowick just on a tree right now. They are going to be in a tough spot. So isn't Bestia, though. Dwamsen gets the knock onto Pippa. Benya wants to try and take down Frogman. Looks like Frogman doesn't want to give these points away to anyone. Just surviving in the blue zone. He has 6 first aid kits. Looks like might try and step through now. Bestia is going for the res, but I don't think it's actually going to come through in time before the blue zone, is it? Pippa gets flushed by the blue zone right there. And that just kind of slowed down Benya, who's now running in the open, getting shot by AKA. Surprisingly not 55 PD yet. Frogman goes down to the blue zone. Bestia outlives that. We're down to our top 4 teams, AKA 55 PD, Duel, and Bestia. AKA, I don't think they had any individuals towards the top. Nanu, I think had, actually on this map, had 5 kills over the 2 days, so He was in the top 5 for kills with those 5. As Benya throws a nade forward, finishes off Doffy with the follow-up. Joppa tries to find one onto Nowick. But Nanu was in the top 5 on this map. Doesn't look like any of the other players are there at all, but overall, this was AKA's best map. It is the only map besides Miramar where they made it into the top 5, and it was through a combination of placement points and kills that they were able to get 15 total points to make it into the top 5 for Tego. Meanwhile, on Miramar, they had 16 kills, which was very good. Penta gets a trade onto Benya, as Benya takes down Nowick. So it's a 1v1 between Joppa and Penta. Danchin goes down to Tavon. And 55, I mean, they were just fed with zone right here. Good headshot from Glock. Yeah, AKA gonna be down to 3. There's no way they're gonna be able to get over to Danchin. Tavon just trying to make sure that he flushes him out. But where are the members of AKA gonna go? I mean, the zone's here. They have to go somewhere. They hop in the vehicle, they start driving. Nanu, he's just gonna be left here. They only have a 2-seater. I don't know why they're stopping here. The blue zone's still coming in. Shots going out over towards Joppa. Hasn't found anything. Yeah, Nanu. You just gotta run in the open. Penta has made his way forward. He's still not inside the zone yet. Glock takes down one. Penta the other. He actually steals the kill, and he gets the flush onto his own. So he gets up into 3rd place. Gabru gets the kill onto Penta with the vehicle blowing up, and Nanu, the last player left for AKA. Up against the 3-man of 55 PD, and it's gonna take some incredible shots that almost started off right there onto Tavon. Be able to get the kills. Oh, if he would have been ready for Tavon to re-peek that and got that final bullet onto him. Yeah, it looks like he's just gonna give this one up to the blue zone. Isn't gonna allow 55 PD to take that one. That's a really difficult position for him to be in, but 55 PD winning match number 3 with I don't know how many kills, because I didn't see. Bestia has 13 kills. 55 we don't get to see, but we're gonna go to a quick break as we get ready for match number 4. Here we are, match number 4. Looking back at last week, the team's best on Rondo, 55. And Aura dominated a lot of the Rondo matches. Toyo also did decent. Who would have guessed Toyo being good? Mullahs, who are not with us. Actually, funnily enough, 2 of the teams that did well on Rondo, I actually got relegated last week. So even if you do well on just one map, doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna do well on the rest of them. You can still get relegated even if you do well on one of the maps. So we do have, it looks like a hut drop for Jiao Tin between 4 Monkeys Men and Razav. As, ooh, Lepeaks takes early shots from Nubsky. Is able to get a JS9, pre-fires around the corner, does end up getting the knockout as he chases him down, so Nubsky punished for chasing a little bit too hard right there. As, oh, Lepeaks tries to go for a pre-fire onto Fachita, but Fachita able to turn around, hit the headshot on him. Outweighted him. So we've had 1 player lost on each team, and now it's back down into a 3v3. Now shots go out from Panna onto Whiteson. Hits the knock there. Beleda gets the flush onto Whiteson. The 4 Monkeys Men down to just 2. Shots coming out onto Guckstarl. Trying to fight against 2 players, and it's Pana that just outplays him. Sitting out in the open. He was exposed, but he still ends up winning the fight anyways. Now it's all on fast, and it looks like he's just gonna try and retreat out of there. He's like, it's not worth it to try and deal with that anymore. That is just, fell in trouble. Ooh, nade goes out from Lucas onto MHP. We hopped over to a fight between, well, Lucas and the members of 4-0. Lucas, he's got to try and hold the staircase. But Sweezy knows that it's going to happen. Tries to have the shotgun ready, but he doesn't go for the push on this as he jumps out, and Moo is able to take him down, so 4-0, picking up another kill. STX, he's just sitting and waiting, ready at any point. Looks like Bestia versus Foradores now. Joppa is low already. The other two members of Bestia gotta try and make their way over here. Frogman takes down Joppa, gets the flush with the nade that he had thrown as well. And Vinny and Benya, it looks like it's gonna be in your best options to just get out of here. Vinny does lose a tire. Benya, it looks like a little bit luckier, hasn't lost anything. But they are going to pull up ready for if Foradores wants to push them any further. It doesn't look like they do. As Volgo just gets the flush onto MHP real quick. 4-0, gonna be down to a 2-man, 7 Tellas. Surprisingly, well, maybe not surprisingly, but they didn't do well on this map last week. Tries to go for the headshot onto Sweezy, stunned, backs off a little bit as STX just pushes forward. Nade gonna be prepped, thrown out. And STX has to get out of there. He is, and he doesn't get shot by Volgo in return. Volgo gonna have to try and pin the new spot where he went. So STX, he sees the arms of Volgo. I don't think Volgo knows exactly where STX is. Oh, the smoke goes out, actually. That's gonna make it a lot more difficult for STX to do anything. Oh, double headshot from Sweezy by Volgo as I sneezed right there. Wonky timing to sneeze. Maya gonna be going for the res onto Volgo. They are pushing straight over here already. The res gonna be canceled. They're going for the res again. Still trying to stick it. Stun comes out. Does not avoid it. Another stun goes out. Is able to avoid that one. Wait, one last one? And it's actually Sweezy that got stunned more. Pablo through the smoke is able to pick up Sweezy after he docked Maya. It's down into a 1v1 between Pablo and STX. STX onto the backside. Should be trying to go for the flush. The stun goes forward and STX goes with it. Pablo gets the flush onto one. Trying to go for the peak battle. Shots come around, but Pablo turns around and takes him down. Should be able to get the res onto both players. And it's going to be 7 Tellas winning the fight against 4-0. We're 4 matches into this, which means maybe a decent time to start talking about how the teams are doing. Bestia currently dominating in first place with 54 points. Second place is Toyo with 36, aka tied for third with 55, and Friendly Fire, all 3 teams with 27 points. Duel sitting right behind them with 25. Nevermind with 23. Team Liquid has 20. So not even that big of a drop-off between 3rd place all the way down to 8th place. And you just barely start dropping a little bit more once you get to 4 Monkeys Men at 15 points. 4-0 has 12 points. Corridores, 11. Ceros Heros, 8 points. And then you drop again down to No Way with 4. Rezav, 7 Tellas, and Mira, all with 2 points. The fact that Mira only has 2 points right now is kind of crazy, but we saw it last week. They are a day 2 kind of team. Aura only has 1 point, which is concerning because they did their best work on day 1 last week. Meanwhile, Furia was not here and therefore will not be doing anything. So, yeah, that's how that's going right now. Now we've just kind of slowed down a little bit. Cool out in the blue zone still. They have some work to do. Friendly Fire going to be fighting up against Duel now. Nowick taking a lot of damage from K-Mine. The nade's going to come out on the wrong side, though. A little bit of covering fire from the other teammate, and K-Mine going to back up just a little bit for right now. And Roth gets the knock onto Nowick. It's Andrew that actually gets the kill steal from Aura. A point definitely needed by them currently. Penta going for the shots onto Michael. Doesn't find anything and then gets stepped up on by Nalup as he goes down. So that's another player down for Duel. Doffy steps around. He does take down Nalup and is able to avoid the return fire from K-Mind. Roth gonna get ready to come over here alongside Michael. Roth maybe approaching from a lot more dangerous of an angle as Doffy tries to set up the smoke. One player driving right up onto him. Michael getting a little bit of damage, trying to throw another nade up and over. Doffy and Adam trying to outlive Friendly Fire right now, as Friendly Fire are converging onto this. Doffy goes down to Michael, and now it's all onto Adam. And a 1v4, Roth with the drive-by takes him down, and Duel get eliminated in 16th. Oh, shot onto Lewis from Watulins, who then gets shot in the back by Zvinny. Lewis did get taken down by those shots from Watulins. Now we're gonna see No Way. They're gonna backfill members of Nevermind. Void gonna be the last player left. Fast, the only one on 4 Monkey Men's, just a little bit further ahead of him. This Team Liquid now continue down the road. You're gonna see Martin paying attention to Aura. Goes for the shots, but he whiffs on the opening player. Tries to throw a nade in return, and he may get pushed on by Aura very quickly. A little bit more damage onto Andrew there with the nade. Now he's gonna prep another one. That one's not gonna hit anybody. And he actually goes right back to the spot he was in. Maybe trying to go over to the buggy. Friendly Fire getting shot at by No Way. 7 Tellas look like they're in a tough spot. It's Toyo that are going to be trying to hold out Aura. As Void does end up finding Fast and finishes him off. Danshin finding Vinny. So Bestia, pretty sure are only down to 1 player at this point. Our team on top could end up going out a little bit early here than any time before, which of course is beneficial. Every other team in the lobby. As Solds gets the knock onto Excalibur. Going for more. Martin gets the knock onto Andrew, and so far the Martin for Emmy trade has worked out, but has it hurt other players on Toyo possibly? And obviously we have some different teams in the lobby this time. Zello Margiela trying to throw a nade forward as Martin gets the knock onto Tavon. Zello Margiela's nade did land onto Karak. That is a knock there, but from behind, it's Gabru to get a knock and a flush onto Martin. So Toyo going to be down to 3. Gabru over here. The members of Toyo are ready for it. Hamas rings out, doesn't do a ton of damage, but guess what? Glock is right there. The members of Toyo hop out. It looks like nades being prepped and thrown over. Gabru steps over and takes down 1, but Caspitan gets the trade. Glock trying to make his way forward. Caspitan just with the FAMAS going for the shots, and he whiffs. Glock almost takes him down. Shots continue to ring out, and it's from the side that Solds takes him down. But guess what? Zello Margiela was ready for it. Tried to get involved, wasn't able to. Caspitan, oh, the blue zone is coming. You cannot say BL. I think you should have tried to steal his first aids. If anything, Zello Margiela, though, from one side, from the other, and down he goes. Aura eliminated in 12th. Now we see Team Liquid getting pressured by Mira. And really a potential spot that Toyo may try and come into as well. They are looking towards Razav. Oh. We're lagging just a little bit. We're good to go. Yeah, Mira pulling up on the hilltop above Team Liquid. How long will this last? Nades come up and over. Will other teams get sightlines onto this? LFP1 taking down Maya, one of the only players I think that would have been able to shoot him in the back, and the next would be Toyo coming into this. Shots coming out from Cowboy. Cowboy's in a really, really tough spot. Fauna getting knocked by his own vehicle after it got blown up. As LFP1 does end up getting a knock onto Cowboy from an off angle. Toyo, they're going to want to get involved in this. This is their opportunity to do even more damage. Aids go forward towards Alo and Luke 12. Way off so far. Solds does activate in the backside. Caspitan also rolling up. That nade going forward looks really good, is really good, but somehow doesn't do enough damage. Solds finds one. That follow-up nade is going to get the re-knock onto Fauna. LFP1 finds Caspitan. Should be able to get the flush as well before he gets out of there, so it's all onto Solds. But if Team Liquid can get back up as a three-man, all of a sudden they're going to be able to put some more pressure onto Mira and LFP1. But it's a re-knock from Tony onto Alo. Now Tony tries to move forward a little bit. Solds on the other side is going to be the hard point for LFP1. Can he get the headshot with the Dragunov? He's going to have to leave his folded shield in a second. More nades go forward towards Team Liquid. Tony gets a re-knock onto Purdy. As Purdy's nade got the knock on to oh my god. The nade util usage. Tony also got Luke 12 before he ended up going down. So he got another nade out there. And Team Liquid get eliminated. Mira goes down to the blue zone. The absolute insanity that happened right there. But now we move further onwards. And it's going to be Frogman opening knock onto Zvini. Hooli finds Trion, and down goes No Way as they try and crash this compound. Foradores look to be in a pretty good spot. Frogman has 3 kills so far. Fully has 2. Frogman is a very good player. You cannot doubt him. He will hit some good shots. Do not doubt it for even a second. AKA look like they're trying to move forward. Not really able to just yet. They need to get closer, either right up against the street, or they got to get across. Infinite Void right now as a solo, same as Solds, but Solds is still staying very, very active, even as a solo. Danshin just not spotting him out, which surprises me, because I feel like you could fully see him right there for a second. But Solds, will he be able to do any more damage? As, oh, AKA just pulling up right below him. Nade goes down the hill, doesn't find anything, and now he has the FAMAS in hand. Ready to fight as Util starts to come over. He actually moves into the smoke. One player runs by, another player bounces off of him. He goes to a different spot in the smoke and just starts going for the first aid. So he has a full 4-man on him, but they haven't found him yet. He goes up, he finds one before getting sprayed in the back by Nanu. He's not able to get the flush or anything. So friendly fire, just full sending it up here. They have players they have to deal with. Drums and Nanu take down 3. And it's all onto Roth. He's the only one left here. AKA, they're killing each other with the blue zone nades. Ay, ay, ay. And Foradores took this time to take care of Infinite Void, so it's a 4v1 with Roth still alive. Now AKA sending it down the hillside, I believe, no, past Roth. They should be able to find Roth here in a second. Now they do, and Roth goes down to Dwamsin, who's surviving on just a single hit point, AKA 8 kills so far in this one. Foradores still with great positioning. Headshot does go out this tree limb, just keeping Nanu away from being able to take any shots over there. Foradores look to be in a wonderful spot here to try and take this one. It looks like shot's gonna come out fully, takes down one after Zlatanks took down Slabby. Now it's gonna be Nano trying to get the res onto Zlatansk. MG3 going out as someone goes up the hillside. So Danshin just had to stop short, wasn't able to go that far up. And Murillo takes down Nanu, takes down Zlatansk. So he gets 2 with the spray through the smoke on the AUG, and now it's fully from the other side. Able to just rain down Hellfire with the MK12. And Slabby with the P90 takes down Dwamsin. Danshin, the last one left. He finds one, goes for the shots on more, but down he goes. Murillo finds the last one, and Foradores with 10 kills wins match number 4. So now, we wait and see if we're going to actually get to see any more any more 10 kills? AK 8, Toyo 7. That's all I saw. But we're gonna go to a quick break as we get ready for match number 5. Alright, here we go. Match number 5. Yeah, we are in match number 5. I don't know how I just thought of this now. But wouldn't it be really funny if Furia still shows up tomorrow and just still stays in Division 1? Just, like, rolls through. Like, hey, yeah, sorry we weren't here last time, but we're still gonna, like, dominate today, so it's fine. Like, I could foresee them doing it. It's a possibility. As Pippa starts off with a long-range knock, will they be able to get the flush? Yes, Benya does indeed flush Trion. So, maybe something that people weren't expecting. But they did make it happen. We'll see, and Trion should be able to get res. DNL grabbed his chip, and now it's just taking it to a res station. They should have one available to them if they go a little bit north. That one's a little bit farther in the open. They could also go all the way up to Campo Militar or Tierra Branca if they wanted to. There's a lot of different possibilities. We didn't necessarily have any really big hut drops, but it looks like Mira will be moving towards water treatment. So that's a possibility for it to happen again. Does Mira end up getting caught in a trap, or will they be perfectly fine? They've struggled a little bit so far today. It doesn't look like Serial Eros will be able to get any shots. No, actually, they do a little bit of damage, but only onto one player. They don't do anything more. Oh, did the car flip? Do you want to try and go for it if the car did flip? Doesn't look like they're going to try to. Looks like they're rather content with what they have right now. Now it's really just what's going to happen next. Who's going to run into people? We are starting off slow on Miramar. 5 minutes in, we still have all 17 teams. A little bit slower than really we've been starting ever before. As I say that, Fauna gets a knock onto STX, and Sweezy trying to look out for him. Doesn't see anything. MHP rolling about. Vela Margiela flushes one onto Aura, so I mean we're losing a player here and there, but so far we are not losing any teams or anything. We are down to the regular starting amount of players if we were playing with 16 teams. So it's nothing too crazy. Oh, and Bestia loses another one. Aura, they found 2 onto Bestia. Which does surprise me a little bit, what's going on with Bestia there. Hopefully they're not starting to fall apart. They did lose a few points in the lead to Toyo. They're only down to a 12-point lead now. AKA's up to 41 points. Friendly Fire is at 37, solidifying themselves in 4th place currently. 55 PD, they've dropped down a little bit. But really, Mira and Aura way down the leaderboard are some of the biggest surprises to me. Team Liquid, they do have Cowboy now. He's been doing really good, but obviously getting used to a new team member is going to take a little bit of time for them. So we'll see if they can do that. Meanwhile, Friendly Fire, I feel like they're just kind of playing however they want. They have 4 players that before this week, maybe a while ago, used to play together, but didn't last year, or even the year before that, I don't think. So they can kind of just be loosey-goosey with it, see what sticks, see what works, and if stuff doesn't work, they can kind of work it out from there without really worrying about it too much. It's just free game for them. So, we'll see how they end up playing it out. Maybe it'll turn out great for them. Maybe they'll struggle a little bit. We don't know currently. Benya, the last one left for Bestia. If Toyo knows that he's alone here, they will be trying to hunt him down. I don't know who Solds is shooting at. I think Toyo is just trying to bait him out by shooting. Oh, Benya gonna get the knock and flush onto Solds. That's 1 free kill. And he quickly hops down. And he starts running away. He sees BL over there driving. Did BL see him? Did the rest of Toyo see him? Because I feel like he's just gonna be trying to sneak his way through, you know? It's like, don't spot me, I'm sneaking here. And for right now, he's gotten a... No, he didn't get away with it. BL found him, took him down. Down he goes. No more Bestia in this match. So we go onwards. On to the next fight. Looks like we have Cruise ending. A lot of teams on the move now. Friendly Fire trying to drive where they can. Team Liquid over towards the top of Cruise already. Above Cruise Church. Razav are kind of just going right through the middle of 55 and surviving it somehow. And they're pulling up into the members of No Way. And if 55 wants to get involved in this, they kind of can. Because Gabru wasn't able to pop any tires or anything. But yeah, No Way and Razav just right on top of each other. And door's gonna be closed. The other member of No Way is up towards Team Liquid for some reason, but Razav, they're able to find two members of No Way with nades. Blue Zone doing some damage to DNL so far. Wait, No Way still has two. I'm confused. Knock from DNL. Pana gets the trade onto it. Can we please zoom in on the action? Maybe. Nubsky trying to go for the res onto Beleda. Pana making his way over here. Again, only one member of No Way over here. The other one trapped other places. In 55, they did decide to get involved in this one. They get the knock onto Pana. They should be able to get the flush as well. That is how the first member goes down. You have Foradores on the same hillside as Mira and Cerro Heros. 4-0 has Sweezy up there, who's going to confirm a kill real quick. And now you have Foradores just going right past Friendly Fire. Michael gets taken down by Frogman. Again, this man is insane at the game. I don't understand how he does it. Avon takes down Slabby, and that's a good player to kill. Every kill counts, but not taking down Frogman's going to be a little bit of a disappointment. Arrow getting a flush onto Moo in the kill feed, and we now have another team inside of Cruz, as it looks like 55 decided to come back after leaving earlier. So Foradores, never mind, 55, and to the south you had No Way with a single player left. Where are they gonna go? As Aura, they take care of nail up on friendly fires, rotation into the Cruise Church. Alo on the hill up above does get the knock onto Roth. Alo getting shot at heavily by Foradores. Not able to confirm the kill, so Roth should be able to get rezzed. He'll be back up into a 3-man. Team Liquid did rotate a little bit, take some more space to the south instead of just being up on top of the hill where Alo is. And it looks like Zvinny trying to get revenge onto the members of Rezav. Picks up the MK14, probably from one of his dead teammates, and I will say the MK14 was probably hit the hardest by the DMR nerf. How disappointing you can't full auto it anymore. It's just not a viable option in that situation. As Vinny did get a knock onto Volgo, but it got stolen away by Beleda. Mira moving forward and sprayed down by Aura right now. They've taken so much damage, both of them. Just a shot away from death. The vehicle almost flipped over. Zvinny gets a knock onto one, gets a knock onto a second. Is he going to be able to get any of the flushes, though? He does onto Fauna. It looks like Tony gonna be alive for right now, as Zvinny just tries to shoot over towards Haven. Confirm his kill. No, Michael steals it away, and now we have 7 Tellas rolling in on a BRDM. Right down Main Street, somehow not getting shot at yet. Because where are they gonna stop? I don't think you were ever gonna make it up that hillside. Oh no. Oh, you flipped the BRDM, and now you're getting shot in the back, in the front. Treon gets the knock, gets the flush, and he gets a second knock onto Lucas. He should have a nade. And I would, honestly, if I was him, just try and nade that really quick. Martin gets a knock on to Penta. Pablo is just going to chill inside the BRDM. And I think he should just stay there for quite a while. Might be in his best interests if he wants to stay alive. Frogman getting a knock onto Craze. Fully gets a knock onto Skatastico. They're both going to pick up their kills. So, Foradores, 31 points so far today, and they came in from Division 2. And when they have Frogman, Fully, and Murillo on the team, that kind of surprises me. I feel like these are all names that we've seen up in Division 1. Maybe got eked out a little bit at the beginning, or maybe they didn't play enough last year, so they were a little lacking in points to be able to start in Division 1. As we see Nevermind go down to a Glock. Whatever the case may be, they are here now. They are doing very well for themselves so far. As from behind, Martin takes down the last member of Duel, and that is them out in 14th place. Purdy's got to be careful here, though, because Danny rolling up to his left. He should have heard the footsteps. He does have his teammate spot out Danny. So we have Excalibur and Danny over here. The nade being prepped and thrown forward. It looks really good. It gets the knock onto Danny. The blind nade off of just a little bit of info from his teammate, and he's able to get an opening knock. The problem is Zello rotating behind him is going to put him in a really bad spot. So Purdy's not going to be able to stay here any longer. Foradores, they were trying to make a rotate, and it's only going to be Fully left here. He's going to throw out a couple of smokes as AKA Just on the hillside, 55 gonna be down below. K-Mine the one getting shots into him. And it's Dwomson to finish him off with the nade. There's just one thing after another right there. Down goes Foradores. They tried to do whatever they could. They got a few more kills before they went out. But in the end, they fall short in this match. Cowboy coming back up here. And Team Liquid just going to secure the hilltops here. Make sure that they can look down onto everyone. And nobody's going to be looking down onto them. Oh, Zvinny. He wants to take the shots onto Haven, and he sprays him so well. Now a couple of smokes going to be thrown, because Mira is going to be right in front of him, and that's going to be a difficult cross for him. His teammate's still in no position to help him. Sweezy in a similar situation, separated away from MHP. It's actually really funny. No Way and 4-0 both have 2 players on one side of the street, as Gabru gets the knock onto Sweezy, and now MHP is going to be all alone here in just a second. And LFP1 jumping shot onto Zvinny, and now Treon is going to be all alone next to MHP, so 4-0 and No Way both down to a single player, and they're right next to each other, side by side. Oh, LFP1, how long are you going to be able to be out here? I feel like it's a surprise that members of Team Liquid haven't been looking down on you yet. So I feel like you kind of got lucky, almost, right there. Now you have a stun go out from MHP towards 55. And it looks like they're kind of focusing more on MHP rather than on Treon. MHP just trying to go for some shots through the smoke. Wasn't able to find anything right there. For Monkey's men. Oh, he has a C4. I don't think it's really possible to get the C4 over there. Oh, Nanu. Gets a couple of shots onto Fast, and now he's just going to have to try and pre-fire that. Hit their knees a couple of times. Not going to do a ton of damage, and Dromson survives it. .55, they're down here along with one member of 4-0, one member of No Way. It looks like one member of 7tel is all just in a line. And then you have Friendly Fire up on the church. You have Team Liquid up on the hilltop with AKA slightly down below on the other side of the hill. Tavon getting ready to push. With the Panzer. When does the push come through, though? And there we go. It goes through. He survives the Panzer Blast and takes down MHP, so 4-0 goes down. Now you're going to have 2 players. Pablo's still alive. Quite the surprise. Dwomson just threw down some gas on the ground. Interesting. Fascinating. Don't know what that play is, but he may be prepping for something that we don't see. And goes for some shots. Martin finishes off Nanu. Now it's Dwamson. He does find one onto Biel, and now Team Liquid coming from behind. They take down Toyo, and it's only one member left on AKA. Cowboy getting shot by Roth. Hits the deck and actually has just enough of a ridge as Alo finishes off Danchin with the nade. I don't know if that was really necessary. I feel like you could have just kind of shot him, but that is fine. Wamson gonna be staring uphill, waiting for the members of Team Liquid to come close to him, see if they can get any more. So obviously Treon, being a solo here, gonna be struggling a little bit up against a four-man. He does take down one, but Tavon right there for the trade. No way gets eliminated. 8th place, so they did get a couple of placement points. Got more out of it than they could ever really want. That nade goes forward. Dwamson does hit the deck. He did get the knock onto Purdy, and Alo getting shot in the side. Alo nailing the shots, just trying to hold down the fire button, and Alo does finally get the final bullet onto him, so Team Liquid still alive. Pablo just laying down in this BRDM. I don't think anyone is aware of him right now. He's just living his best life. Nobody doing anything about him, and he's gonna continue to live that way until someone makes something happen. Now K-Mine finds a shot over onto Haven. That nade, I feel like, bounced right off of Roth, but harmlessly away. The flush through the smoke for K-Mine. LFP1 gonna be the last one left. Michael ready to go forward with this Panzer. Roth is in front of him, though. They gotta be careful how far they go forward, though. Team Liquid on the hilltop would be able to just look right down onto them. LFD1 throwing a couple of stuns, trying to back off a little bit. Just completely outmaneuver. Rezav has gotten Beleta into the church. 55 is right down below. As all of a sudden we see 55 go on a killing spree. Team Rezav gets eliminated, and so didn't Mira. So we're down to just 3 teams: Liquid, 55, and Friendly Fire. Liquid have more control of the zone. 55, I'd say, have a decent chunk of high ground with the church. And then you have Friendly Fire just kind of tucked into this corner right now. But they can definitely still make something happen. They are not a team to be trifled with. Shots ringing out. Luke 12, he's spotted out the members of Friendly Fire. He's taken some shots over there. Did hit one in the toes. Team Liquid, they gotta be careful that Karak doesn't get them from the side. It's actually Glock that gets the opening knock and brings this down into a 3 for every team. 3v3v3. What we have going on. I don't think Luke 12 can really easily get over to Purdy. Glock does get the flush with the nade. Luke 12 gets a knock onto Roth. now nades coming out as Michael goes down to Gabbru. Only one player left on friendly fire. As Glock got that knock with the Molotovs. Does get the flush as well. Cowboy finishes off K-Mind. And now it's a 3v3, 55 versus Team Liquid. I think Team Liquid a little bit more spaced out, but Alo takes a headshot there from Karak. Luke 12 versus Karak up close and personal. Gabbru is actually making it over here towards Alo. Cowboy finds Glock. Luke 12, gotta be careful. He might be able to get shot in the back in a second by Gabbru. Do they know where Gabbru went? Or is he just a snake in the mix of all of them? Crack taking a couple of shots. Alo does get the knock onto him, so now it's all onto Gabbru. He's made it up here next to Cowboy. Cowboy turns around, and from behind is Luke 12 to take him down. Team Liquid, 10 kills in the chicken dinner to win match number 555 PED. They had 13 kills of their own. What a start to our Miramars. AKA, they had 6 kills. Toyo, they had 10 kills down in 9th place. But now we're going to go to a quick break as we get ready for the final match of the day. Here we go, the final match of the day, the final Miramar of the day. How is it gonna go? Who is gonna take home the victory in match number 6? Is it gonna be someone unexpected? Is it gonna be something pretty normal that we see most of the time? I mean, time will tell us here shortly. Are we gonna have any hot drops? It looks like we have a hot drop over at Impala. And I think No Way and 4-0 and Foradores are all doing their best to avoid each other. Impala is going to be the center of this zone, though, so this hot drop can go on for a very long time. It looks like Cerro Heros had done a good chunk of damage to the members of Seven Tellas, but not actually able to get any knocks or anything. Again, with this being inside a zone, this fight could go on for a very long time. Surprised that Lincoln doesn't just pick up that canine right there for a little bit of long range, but like expecting more of a close range kind of fight. And that's okay. They can do so if they so wish to fight that way. Is just a wee bit surprising. Maya has a Panzer and a UMP. They know Lewis is up there. Honestly, if you just shoot the Panzer straight up at the ceiling, I think you get the knock onto Lewis. That's all you gotta do. Shoot it straight up at the ceiling, it gets the knock. But it looks like they're opting to back off for right now. Pero, I think, saw the Panzer. Gonna throw the stun in towards the first floor, which means that Seven Tellas just gotta kind of try and make this happen sooner. Shotgun on one from Lewis. Is he gonna be able to find the second? Throws the stun, tries to get it around the corner, isn't able to. But Pablo was very, very stunned by that. Now Pablo running forward, and Pablo does get the knock. Gets the flush onto Lewis as well. Maya goes down to the nade from Lincoln. Pablo. Panzer still in hand, ready for if anyone pushes, but AKA and Duel are actually fighting outside of this now. AKA has 2 knocks onto Duel. Daffy got 1 knock onto Jwamsin. So Adam gonna be trying to hold right on the other side of AKA. The peak comes out, doesn't find anything. Moves over to the other side, does find a knock onto Danchin, but continues to keep on moving. Panzer goes out. Adam goes around the side. He finds another one. Gets back into the smoke to survive. There is a player right next to him. Adam just trying to spray through. Backs off of it. And from behind, Penta's starting to get some shots onto Zlansak. But he gets the knock and the flush onto Adam. So now it's all onto Penta to try and get over here in time. Daffy trying to make it around the corner, but he gets flushed out. Now, Blue Zone coming over here. Should be able to easily get the flush onto Danchin. Might even get it onto Jwamsin. He's getting the res onto Nowick, though. So it's going to be back into a 2v1 situation. The nade going to get prepped. Thrown out here shortly. Question is, does he have any idea? It doesn't look like they know where he is right now. Was spotted out by Nowick now. Molotov goes forward, doesn't get quite far enough. The stun goes out. But these two players are going to have to go forward. They get the flush onto Nanu really quick, and then him throwing the stun. He gets one, almost gets the second. Nowick surviving on a sliver. Penta gets flushed out. Bandages being used. He tries to move to the other side. Ring around the Rosie right now. He did pick up a couple of first aids because he was able to make it over to these bodies. That's going to be Nowick. Trying to deal with the next couple of players. What can they do? Nowick. He's getting up on top of the containers, it looked like, or maybe just jumping for a ton of information. Smoke gonna have to go out at some point. He's trying to move around. This smoke's still deployed, so he can't see anything yet. He's grabbing more util from this other body. It's just kind of come to a standstill at this point. Nobody really able to find any footing. It's just a stalemated 1v1. Who can last longer? Sitting here waiting. Bestia. They might be setting up some sort of camp along the roadside. Up towards the north, though. Maybe actually spotting out friendly fire that were further down to the south and deciding, hey, we don't want to rotate directly into them. So we're going to back off a little bit. In which case, they made the right decision. Because that's exactly what would have happened. Meanwhile, Luke 12 goes down on Team Liquid. The shots go out from Tony. He's not able to find the knock onto Purdy, though. He had the drop on him. All he needed to do was hit the shots. Nade going forward. Panzer in hand for LFP1. He's ready to take down Purdy, even if he's on the high ground. Maybe heard the footsteps. I think he did. Peeking around. Panzer goes out. Down goes Purdy. He had no chance. Now it's all onto Alo. And it's Tony to take down Alo. Team Liquid eliminated in 16th place. They had a good few kind of middle matches. They started off with a good match. Then it was kind of slow for the next couple. And then 4 and 5, they had some good matches again. Finishing off the day around 44 points. And now Friendly Fire fighting up against Bestia's aka Annihilate's duel. We have a very northern shift. So Vinny actually able to get the res right now. And Michael thinking about moving forward. But that means Duel getting eliminated there. They end the day with 26 points. They didn't do anything crazy, but they definitely didn't have a bad day. Question is, I mean, Friendly Fire has slowly moved further towards them. Roth gonna back off as Vinny goes a little bit farther down. Just trying to make sure that they can't get wrapped on at all. Those shots onto Zvinny from the hilltop. 4-0, just sitting all the way up at the top. Shots going out from DNL. Oh, that would have been nice and clean if we could have saw a headshot right there. But we do not. So now we gotta sit and wait. Razav, they have their work cut out for them. They're gonna have to go through Mira, who's gonna be able to set up in front of them. Vinny finally got wrapped on by Roth, and it looks like K-Mind was down here as well. No, sorry. Nailup was down there with him. Misread the name. Gosh darn it. They were all taken care of. Finished off. Now there's only 2 members of Bestia left. Still 4 up for a Friendly Fire. Razav are down to a 2-man, but they were able to go forward into the zone and are somewhat survived. There is so much empty space in this zone. Everyone is just getting, like, camped right on the edge of zone. That is crazy. Razav decided that they need to still continue forward. One vehicle has blown up, the other one flipping after the tire get popped, but he is just continuing forward. Delpana decides to stop right there as well. I don't think he was going to be able to recover before it went into the water. So he may have decided that it was just better off to stop there and try and fight it out. Beleda right down below Gabru. I mean, they already took care of Pana, so there's only Beleda left. It looks like Mira decided to take a different path because there was another camp set up on the south. Who would have guessed? I mean, it was just one camp after another right there. Nobody was getting through all of that. And, oh, trying to spray Mira before they go up. Not able to do it successfully. And now the spray goes out onto Nevermind. Caspitan picks up 1 Toyo. They have been a little bit quiet so far in this match. There's now nades coming through. Pippa running over Danchin somewhere. It looks like Friendly Fire's decided that they're just gonna play the coastline. And it looks like they're pretty well off for it, honestly. As Trion's vehicle gets blown up, but he does make it into the building safely. So Foradore is in no way, maybe a couple of teams that you wouldn't expect to have center compounds, but because no one took any all throughout, they just end up with a free center compound. Good for them, honestly. And there we go. Dwamsen goes down to LFP1. 2 players left on AKA. Mira have lost Fauna. Tony is still alive, and Bestia is sneaking up behind them to try and do even more damage. What can Solds do? 2 players of Nevermind on the other side. Toyo gonna want to finish it out with a very good win if they can. They're pulling up a little bit further ahead, but Bestia is aware of this. Pippa just smoking, probably trying to get back to the ridgeline. Benya still trying to go for a flank. That nade goes out, but Pippa, aware that nades may come through, he was just kind of backing up. And through the gap in the smoke, he does go down. Benya does get Tony on the other side. A lot of damage still taken. Tony, I don't think he's going to be easily resable in this situation. Benya going to be doing his best to try and get the flush onto him as well. And being on this rock is actually pretty helpful for Benya. But with the blue zone moving in, it's going to pretty much guarantee that Tony is going to go down. Aura going down to Moo right now. A nade for the flush onto Margiela. But the kill stolen away onto Excalibur from Solds. And Andrew and Danny just trying to drive away right now from the members of 4-0. All they really have to play is this dip right here, though. They're going to have to stop here in just a second. Keep on going too far and you'll probably run into another team. Sterile Harrows, they just want to stop right here. 4-0 turning around, ready to try and scoop up some more points. They're only at 15 on the day right now. Lincoln staring at it. One player ready to shoot, the nade going out, but the nade in return. MHP gets the knock onto Pero. Martin actually ends up getting the knock onto MHP. So Lincoln ends up hitting a headshot onto Moo. What a shot, but STX takes him down in return. Now 4-0 are in a real difficult spot right up against the edge of the zone. They should be able to get the res onto Moo, though. My goodness, that was not what I was expecting to happen at all right there. What do these players decide to do? Platonsk tries to throw a nade up and over, but he gets finished off by Mira from behind, aka eliminated. That's going to leave them on around 48 points, a little bit more on the day. Definitely not a bad day for them. Never mind, only one player left. Down he goes. They're going to end the day right around 31 points. So not too bad from them either. They're in the top half right now. 30 or above puts you in a good spot going into day number 2. Oh, BL just trying to find the heads. He sees Danny. Oh, he tried to go for the shot. Doesn't connect. The smoke given just enough cover to make that a really, really difficult shot. They weren't able to capitalize off of it. Smoke goes out again from Aura. They're just trying to hang on for as long as possible. Maybe a couple more teams die. Maybe they get a couple more placement points. They're only sitting on 7 points. They have 1 kill, so they're actually sitting on 8 points right now. And not a single placement point before this game. It's been a rough day for them. Last week we saw them do well in week number 1. We just have not seen the same success for them here in this one. Oh my god. Toyo just sending it forward. They are going to be in on the very edges zone. Friendly Fire still alive and kicking. This is Andrew trying to fire back against Toyo, but them being a full 4-man, they have a little bit more spots they can peek if they all peek that shack together. 4-0. Oh, getting shot at by Aura. But you can't make it up that hillside. Stop trying to just go straight up the hillside. It's not going to work out for you. Go back down the hillside. Go around. I believe in you. You can do it. Andrew finally goes down to BL. He did end up finding the headshot that he needed to open up onto them. No way, trying to take some shots over towards 55 PD, getting shot in return by Toyo. Caspitan found an angle onto No Way, almost has one player knocked. He's trying to lay down to avoid it. Fixin' in return. Oh, here comes the BRDM. All the players shooting it. It's blowing up. No Way eliminating 4-0 very quickly as our kill feed explodes right there. As Friendly Fire also got eliminated. Friendly Fire gonna end the day around 45 points, 4-0. They did get a few points in that, but they had 15 beforehand. So hopefully they got a good chunk. Danny just trying to step out, do what he can. Aura gets eliminated in 5th place. They had 7, so that's going to be a good little chunk of points there for them. Now Slabby trying to go for the shots onto Martin. Does find the headshot onto the final one, and the nade comes over from BL to take him down. Toyo looking to win another match today. They want to try and overtake Bestia for the end of the day. Oh, Gabru with the We have a 4v4v4v3 right now going. Foradores, Toyo have the most work to do. Toyo, they've moved forward. But at what potential cost? Getting shot in the side. Here we go. Fully gets an opening knock onto Gabru. He's only one man. He's gonna hit that first aid immediately, and Toyo making their way over here. Fully gets shots into the side of BL, isn't able to get a knock. Throws the blue zone forward as he goes down. The blue zone not gonna be in a good enough spot. Actually might block off some of the view that Toyo had onto 55. So if anything, helping out a different team. As Martin, he takes down two. Karak and Tavon go down. Martin ready to peek up and over again. Treon from behind actually gets a knock onto Gabru. As Solds finds the knock onto SPK. BAL finds the final one of 55. One of the two members remaining for No Way has been spotted out. So if they can get the reses, it's going to go back into a 4v2, but Martin is knocked currently. If Caspitan can find the final kills, it'll be into a full 4 kills for each and every team. Molotov goes forward onto the vehicle in the blue zone, moving in. Solds, I think, is going to be left behind right here. Drive-by attempt by BL. It is successful onto DNL. One player left, and there we go. Toyo wins match number 6. 17 kills, dominant fashion. They should be able to take back first place away from Bestia. We now just gonna wait for an updated leaderboard. Thank you, Stony, thank you. You know what I still continue to forget to do? I still continue to forget that I need to finish off the stream and everything, or finish off the final things for the stream to get kick all set and ready. But this is how we end today. Toyo, with that match, ends up going 20 points ahead of Bestia in first place. Bestia is in second with 62-55. In third place with 58 points, and our 3 or 4 teams in relegation right now is Furia, because they didn't play at all today. Seventellas with 10 points, Aura with 11, Cyril Harros with 14, Razab just above them with 14 points as well. For Monkey Men's 19 in 13th place, just ahead outside of relegation, aka Friendly Fire, Forador Ace, and Team Liquid. Kind of rounding off the top half of the leaderboard. Nevermind and Duel are over there, but they're kind of in a mid-pack with Mira in No Way. 4-0 is what rounds off the rest of our bottom half. In Division 2, Team K, Seito, Dream 1, Kill for Fun, and Team X are the 4 teams that are currently going to be promoted into Division 1 if it stayed as is, but we have a whole nother day of play. Team 0, Hardpeak, Obliviate, Rack 4 Sports are the 4 teams that are going to get relegated down into Division 3. Not today, 1-0 Mullahs. 3 of the teams that were playing in Division 1 yesterday are on that right half of the leaderboard. A little bit sketchy from them. Attackers, XSX9, Legacy, Debbie, Terrar, Mas Votos, and Judas are the 4 teams that would be relegated from the 3rd division right now. In the demotion zone, you have the Crazy Boys, Breves, Cobras, Fumentos, who only played 3 matches, and Tropa, Doping, Alto, who have not played at all. And yeah, that's kind of what you're looking at right now for the teams. I appreciate everyone who stopped by, though. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.